Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. And once again before we begin, if you enjoy my content and still haven't subscribed, now is the chance to correct that and join us. Now let's get started with today's story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user Svartflamme. My 31 male, mom 54 female, and my sister 32 female hate my girlfriend 29 female. As the title says, my mom and my sister hate my girlfriend. I live in the US, but I am originally from Europe. My whole family still lives in my home country. My girlfriend and I have been together for over 5 years. Recently, there was a short breakup between us. I was the one who broke it off. I have some mental issues, and I was in a really bad place at the time, so I ended things with her. A month went by and we got back together. But anyway, over the last 5 years, my girlfriend and I have visited my home country twice. The first time, my family was excited to meet her. They were glad I had found someone, etc. All seemed to be well. The second time, they weren't as warm. In fact, there was a night when we were all over at my parents' house and my mom and my sister were sitting right across the table from my girlfriend talking badly about her in our native language. I was livid. They told me how I could do so much better, that she's weird, she's not pretty enough, she's not successful enough, etc. We were supposed to go over there a third time and stay with my sister. Well, my sister told me around the time we were going to buy the plane tickets that we might want to rethink this trip because we weren't allowed to stay with her. I asked my mom if we could stay with her, and my mom told me she had no problem with me staying with her, but that my girlfriend would have to find somewhere else to stay. I asked why, and her answer was, because I don't like her and I don't want her in my house. Neither of them can give me a concrete reason why they don't like her. So they both stopped talking to me for a while. Now we are in very low contact. My sister and I were really close too. We are not even a year apart in age and we were best friends growing up. Now I talk to her every few months and my mom even less than that. Mom and I have never been close though. But last I talked to my sister, my girlfriend and I were still split up. I've been wanting to tell her we are back together, but I'm afraid of the drama it will cause. I can just hear it now. Oh, you finally made a good decision for once, and then you had to F it all up and get back with that bee. I have mental problems. I have suffered from psychosis in the past. I also deal with depression and OCD. OCD is the one that causes me the most distress, honestly. I don't know if they think my girlfriend is to blame for these issues. They couldn't possibly think she made me like this. That's ridiculous. My parents had high expectations for me when I was a kid. They constantly pushed for more from me. Do they expect me to be with a millionaire who is also a lingerie model and has an IQ of 250? Someone like that wouldn't be a fit for me. My girlfriend was my rock when I was going through some really hard times. It's like they don't even care about that. So, does anyone have any advice on this situation? And also, how should I tell my sister? She wants to talk on Skype later. She will figure it out even if I don't tell her because she will see it in the background that I am living in my old house again. Thanks everyone. Well, OP, I think that regardless if she can or not tell that you're back together with your ex-girlfriend, or now your girlfriend of course, because you're living in the same house, then just go ahead and say it as soon as you start the conversation. Hi sis, and just in case you're wondering, yes, I got back together with my girlfriend, we're happy, we're doing good, so all is fine. What's up? And if she starts giving you a hard time because you got back to, like you said, that you would F it all up again or something like that, then I'd ask her point blank. I would ask her to give me one concrete example of why they don't like my girlfriend. Like, what did she do? Not just a feeling thing. No, don't give me that. Give me a reason. You've only seen her twice. The first time you saw her, you were really happy. The second time, you were being rude. So what happened and what was the context? And if she doesn't want to give you an answer, it's probably because she's embarrassed of the reason why she doesn't like your girlfriend, in which case it can't be valid. Or else I'd assume she would just tell you up front, you know what, your girlfriend did this or said this and it rubbed me the wrong way. Not just some lame excuse like, oh, you could do better or she's weird. No. And if she still refuses to give you a straight answer, then that's your cue to remain low to no contact. And your mom, of course, by extension. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you go about it? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Simarchetti1 says, honestly, it sucks they can't be supportive, but your mom and sister aren't dating her. I would confront them and ask them why they don't like her, but even then, it doesn't really matter. You can decide for yourself if your girlfriend is good enough or not. From the sounds of it, it doesn't seem like they have any reason to not like her. I used to let my parents' opinions of who I dated matter, but I realized I missed out on good guys because I let what they said get into my head. As long as you feel confident with her, then their opinions shouldn't affect your decisions. I only feel it's necessary to take their opinion if you are with someone who is actually a bad choice, abusive, controlling, etc. But if they have no valid reasons, then I wouldn't sweat it. You said it yourself. She's been there with you through some tough times, and that says a lot about her and your relationship. Don't let something like this ruin what you've got. Deleted says, it seems to me that they associate the negative stuff going on in your life with her. So in their mind, if she goes, the bad stuff goes. I would do one last Hail Mary taking responsibility for your own crap and explain to them how the most negative thing in your life right now is their attitude to the one person who actually supports you. If they can't get it through their thick skulls, leave them in the past and focus on the good and positive in your life. Candy Metalman says, it's too bad they don't like her, but who is there for you on a day-to-day basis? Who do you cuddle with at night to go to sleep? If someday you decide to have kids, who's going to be the one to give you that magnificent gift? Not your mom or sis. Once they see that you're going to be with her regardless, they'll start to accept her. They might be forced to at first, but then it will just flow. You have to live your life for what you want. If you don't, you'll just resent them down the road, which will cause arguing between you guys. Good luck, my friend. I'd love to hear how it goes. Big smiley face. Additional information from OP's comments. Thank you to those who actually read my post and commented on the situation at hand instead of going back through my post history and finding anything and everything to use against me. I really appreciate it. For everyone else, I am in therapy and have been for years. It has been about 5 years since my last and only psychotic episode. I am currently not depressed. OCD is the big one I deal with now. Not only am I in therapy, but I have also made some major changes to how I live my life. I gave up all drugs, I rarely drink, and I also gave up most processed foods. I say most because it's really hard in this society never to eat anything processed. I would be lying if I said I was 100% raw and organic, etc. Also, I have been in the psych ward once. I attempted to end my life. I don't refuse medication. The medication I've tried didn't work for me, so I decided to take a more alternative, less pharma-based approach to my own healing. Personally, I don't think there is a right or wrong way to deal with mental health issues. Different things work for different people. No meds and CBT are helping me a lot. Now that that is out of the way, I'll say that I've stuck up for my girlfriend. The night they were talking bad about her, I got mad at them both, and a pretty epic shouting match ensued between all three of us. They know I'm unemployed, so I can only guess they know she is financially supporting me right now. I am looking for a job and working on my mental health. I have an interview next week. About the trip, I wasn't going to make her see my family for a third time. We both wanted to go over there for an event that was happening in my home city. Of course, I asked to stay with my sister because traveling abroad isn't cheap, and my girlfriend had no issue with staying with my sister. She gets along fine with my sister's husband and her kids. She also gets along great with my dad, my brothers, and all of my cousins. She and one of my cousins have actually become good friends over time. And I have friends over there who really like her, so it's not like I was twisting her arm, making her go somewhere where the only people she would see are people who don't like her. There are plenty of people over there who do like her, and she wanted to go to see them. Okay, well, I think the community gave OP some pretty helpful advice from different angles, of course, and OP also gave us some background on what's going on with him, because apparently some people went digging in his past, and I guess some people also were wondering why OP was taking his girlfriend. Pretty good explanation right there. So now, let's move on to the update to see how the story ends, but before we get there, if you're liking this video so far, please go ahead and click that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, consider doing so now. And now, let's continue with the update. So, like I said in the thread, my sister wanted to talk to me that night on Skype. And just like I figured, she saw the room in the background, and the first thing she said was, "What are you doing at her house?" I tried to tell her that I don't think of it as her house. I think of it as our house. We both lived there together for 5 years. Both of our names are on the rental agreement. It's not her house. So after that, I didn't have to say much. She knew we were back together and she went off on me. She went on a tirade about how I was finally starting to show some improvement. What was I thinking? She should have known I was just going to screw it up, etc. And this was all on the computer when my girlfriend was home. It was in my native language, so my girlfriend couldn't understand it, but she could tell it was a heated conversation. She asked if everything was okay, and I shook my head and told her I would talk to her about it later. So then, I'm not even off the phone with my sister for half an hour, and my mom starts blowing up my Facebook messages, basically saying all the same stuff my sister already said. But of course, she added that she and my dad always expected so much more out of me. I could have really done great things with my life, but instead, I decided to surround myself with bad people and live a crappy existence. Gee, Mom, I wonder why OP has so many problems. Thanks for that. My girlfriend saw how upset I was by all of this and did what she could do to help. But I really just needed to be alone for a while, so I went out driving around for an hour or so. So basically, over the last 10 days or so, the relationship I had with my mom and my sister has pretty much unraveled. They both told me that it was basically her or them. Well, in my opinion, blood is not always thicker than water. You can't choose your family. My girlfriend is the one who was in the hospital sleeping on a futon when I was recovering from my darkest moment. My family wasn't there. My girl helped support me while I was unemployed. Yes, I have a job now. My girlfriend was my rock through a lot of hard times. Yes, I did lean on my sister a lot too, but my sister clearly doesn't care much about what makes me happy. I don't know if this means my dad and my brothers won't talk to me now either. I guess I will find out. To me, this seems so petty. I just can't understand how they could be this way. My sister and I aren't even a year apart in age. We were best friends growing up. Does that mean nothing? Neither of them can tell me what they don't like about her other than she's just not good enough. They both have said I could do so much better. I would love to know what they mean by so much better. The only thing I can think of, and this is really digging, is the second time we were over there, a whole bunch of us went out drinking. It was me and my girl, my sister and her husband, and a couple of my cousins. It was in the middle of winter, and Norway can be pretty brutal compared to the US. There was all this snow on the ground, and when we went home, somehow we all ended up drunkenly playing in the snow in front of my mom's house. At one point, my sister fell on her ass into this pile of snow and she rolled over to try to get up, and I softly, playfully shoved her face in the snow. As I was doing that, my girlfriend came up behind me and put some snow down the back of my pants, and that was the moment my mom came outside and started yelling at all of us for being too loud. Maybe Mom thought that my girlfriend and I were being violent? I don't know. It really was just all innocent play, and we were drunk. I've thought about that before and wondered if that's what actually started this, because after this, my mom had a real problem with my girlfriend not speaking our language. I come from Norway and my girlfriend is American with Irish-Italian roots. I was told that my girlfriend should have learned it out of respect, as if learning another language were easy. Whatever. I know I made the right choice. My girlfriend is an amazing person and she's been a huge part of my life for years. I can't even imagine being with anyone else. So, that's what happened if anyone cares. Thanks. OP's edit. I just thought of something else. I can't believe I didn't think of this one sooner. My sister walked in on my girlfriend and I having sex once. She wasn't too happy about it, mainly because it was going on in her house. It was in the morning. She didn't knock or anything. She just flung the door open to ask if we were awake. Well, we were awake alright. Lol. We were under the covers. It's not like she saw much, but still. And then I remember she told my mom about it and my mom was pissed. I don't know. We are adults. Did they think we weren't sexually active? Maybe. Well, OP, I absolutely agree with you. Based on everything that you've shared, you made the right choice. And regarding why your mom and your sister hate your girlfriend or dislike her, stop thinking for things that could have been. You're gonna spend or waste a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't really matter. Now, I am very ignorant regarding OCD. I hope this doesn't mean that you're gonna obsess about why your mom and your sister don't know. Hopefully, you can get over this and just continue your life and be happy with your girlfriend. So, having said all that, here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you so much for sharing and take care. And now, let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user MutedProblem7700. I really have to shake everyone's hand? Okay. This happened like 15 years ago in Germany. I was in my apprenticeship in a big coal mine, once the pride of German industry. We were 50 apprentices every year. Here you have to do 3 years of apprenticeship before you become an electrician, for example. And my company employed around 4,000 people at that time. The coal sector in Germany was in decline, and it was cheaper to import coal from China, Poland, or Australia. So the company got big subsidies from the state, and it showed. Stuff wasn't replaced, people had to do more shifts. All in all, there was an atmosphere, especially in management, of having to prove you are still useful in a sense. While most people were pretty chill, retirement plans for the older workers were solid, and we younger people knew we weren't going to work there long term from the beginning. The upper management still wanted to show they were the big shots. So one day, all the apprentices were called into a big meeting with the top manager of our section, and he told us that we had too many sick days. He even had a full PowerPoint presentation with how many days we had and what was the reason. There were charts and figures and such stuff. The whole management spiel. In the end, his idea was that from now on, we all had to give our sick notice to him personally in his office on the first day of absence. This is kinda not 100% legal, I guess. I'm no lawyer. But we were all young people and had little to no knowledge about this. Why he wanted to do it this way was clear. He thought many of us were faking their sickness to get a long weekend or whatever. Up to then, you only had to phone in when you were sick and could either send your doctor's notice by mail or bring it in and leave it at the office receptionist. That wasn't good enough anymore, I guess. Directly the week after the meeting, I had a bad stomach bug. Don't ask me what it was. Maybe I ate something bad or it was just the season. No idea. After I was in my parents' bathroom all night, I got to my doctor's first thing in the morning and I got a doctor's notice and was instructed to not be in close contact with people for the next couple of days in case I was contagious. So I went home and phoned the receptionist at the office to tell them I was sick and I couldn't come in. He transferred me to the manager, who told me I had to hand him the notice personally. No ifs or buts. If I didn't, I would get a write-up or worse. I knew he thought I was lying, and that didn't sit right with me. In all the time there, I only missed work for 1 week, and that was because I had a broken foot. Yes, I worked in a coal mine with a broken foot. I am not nearly as tough as this makes me sound. And I didn't like to be accused like that, even though it was only implied. By law, you are not forced to tell your employer why you are sick, only that you are sick. Anyway, cue my malicious compliance. I said, sure, I'll be right there. I got into my car, drove to my workplace and got to the office. My manager was in a meeting with some higher-ups in the company and I was instructed to wait. But as he heard I was there, I was invited into the room full of people in expensive suits who looked like they had serious business to do. Or whatever, maybe the cookies were good there, I don't know. So he made me stand in front of all these important people in the company and made me introduce myself to everyone with a handshake. I didn't protest. Why would I? He insisted. I shook the hands of the manager of production and finances and development and everyone who was there, and I introduced myself. I am sure it was meant to scare me into not having any false sick days anymore. Then, with a triumphant smile, he asked me why I was there, and I pulled out my doctor's notice and gave it to him. Then I said, as you instructed me, I have to give you my doctor's notice in person. I got a bad case of stomach flu this night and just wanted to let you know I will be sick for the rest of the week. Their faces were priceless, and he pushed me out way too fast for me to really cherish the situation. My stomach was better by next week, and the rule about our sick days was lifted. Well, OP, no ifs or buts means no ifs or buts. He wanted you to hand it in person, and that's what you did. The extra mile, that's on him. Thanks so much for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.